Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So, we'll start with Mangalacharan. After that, we'll start the text. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayeva पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Yeah, so we are starting the 11th chapter today. And before we start, I'll just give you a breakup of how this chapter is organized. So 1 to 8 is Arjun's request to see the Virat Roop. 9 to 31 is description of Vishwaroop by Arjun. He'll say that what is he seeing. 32 to 34 is Krishna's request that you please become my instrument. 35 to 46 are prayers by Arjun and he'll praise Krishna. And 47 to 55, revelation of Krishna's transcendental form and how this form is seen only by devotees. So it's a very nice chapter because we'll see the different emotions that Arjun will go through. You know, he will start with the feeling of friendship, and then he goes to wonder, and then he will go to awe and reverence, and then he will go to even fear and regret, and then gladness, and ultimately again come back to the platform of friendship. So we'll see that he goes through a whole gamut of different rasas in this particular chapter. So it's very interesting. So first 1 to 3 is Arjun will praise Krishna's opulences. So somebody can please read the shloka and the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sanjitam Yatvayoktam Vachastena Moho Yam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled.
Sorry. So very interesting points that Arjun says. He says, by my hearing. So he lays emphasis on hearing, that because I heard your instructions, And he also recognizes that Krishna didn't really need to give him instructions. He has given him instructions out of his mercy. So he acknowledges that you have kindly given me. Krishna is not forced. Similarly, when we get instructions, it's by the mercy of that person. Nobody's really forced to give us any instructions. But out of their compassion and mercy, they give us instructions. So we should acknowledge that. So he says, by my hearing those instructions, which you've kindly given me, my illusion has been dispelled. So this is the way to get rid of illusion, to hear from the right source in the mood of submission and in the mood of gratitude. Okay, so let's read from the purport.
The chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation, he is the source of all incarnations. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. Arjun is very enlightened and is glad that he has such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So, in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna, but Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledges that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul.
Thank you. So Prabhupada is giving us almost the whole summary of this chapter. So it's very interesting. Like I said, these kind of purports are known as Prabhupada's elevator, because he doesn't want to wait. He wants to give it right in front. And we see that, like I mentioned earlier also, that Bhakti Yoga doesn't necessarily start before the 7th chapter. But right from the beginning, Prabhupada starts talking about Bhakti Yoga, because he doesn't want us to waste our time. So here also you see he's in ecstasy of a pure devotee. He can't wait. He cannot wait to tell what Krishna is doing, what Krishna is saying. So we can see his ecstasy. Many times Prabhupada says that these purports are my ecstasies. And you can see that he's not able to stop himself. Krishna has not even said anything like this, and Prabhupada gives the whole purport, and he gives almost like a summary of the entire chapter. Text 2.
भवाप्ययो हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories.
So he is addressing Krishna as Kamal Patra Aksha, that one whose eyes are like lotus leaves, right? So he's calling Krishna as Kamal Patra Aksha. So interesting that he's hearing Bhagavad Gita from Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he's saying that you, O lotus-eyed one. So Prabhupada says that Arjuna addresses Krishna as lotus-eyed out of his joy, for Krishna has assured him in the previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralayas Tatha. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. So now he knows that my friend Krishna, he is actually the cause of all causes. It has been confirmed. It's not that Arjuna didn't know that. Arjuna knew already, but now it has been confirmed by Krishna himself. So he's now, he's very joyful. Let's see, my friend is so great. If you come to know suddenly about a friend who you were considering normal, and then you come to know that, oh, he's like Prime Minister's son, so you'll be like, wow, my friend is so great. I was thinking that he's like just my friend, like a normal person like me, but he is great. So if there is real friendship, that would cause joy. You'll be happy to know that my friend is great. So that's what is happening to Krishna, to Arjun here. Text 3.
एवमेतत्यथात्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position as you have described yourself, I wish to see you. I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours.
So we see now Arjun is requesting. So last chapter he requested him to show his specific opulences. And now this chapter he's saying that I want to see how you have actually entered into this cosmic manifestation. So necessarily what he's wanting to know is the universal form of Krishna. And Prabhupada gives a very beautiful purport, so we will read the entire purport. So please go ahead, somebody read this.
The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjun is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna, but in order to convince others in future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjun desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottam is also significant. Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is present within Arjun himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjun, and he can understand that Arjun has no specific desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjun is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjun did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjun wants to see the universal form to set a criterion, for in the future there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The pupil therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the pupil.
Thank you. So here we see that Arjun is addressing Krishna as Purushottam, because Purushottam means one who is the topmost Purusha and one who knows exactly what is in the heart of Arjun. So he's saying Purushottam, so that Krishna may understand that I don't really want to see the universal form for myself. I want to see it because I want to convince others so that there's no doubt in their mind. And also going forward, there'll be so many imposters who claim that I'm God. And then this can act as a benchmark. If you are claiming to be God, then show us your universal form. So that is the reason that Arjun is wanting Krishna to show that form. And we will see that Arjun will see this form. He'll be astonished to see this form. But ultimately he'll say that I want to see that original form of yours with whom I have a relationship. This form is okay, but I'm not really interested in seeing this form anymore. So we can see that, and Prabhupada will give this in his purports, that a devotee is not really interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. And the reason is that it's an all-pervasive form, and it is not a personal form. So you can't really have a relationship with something which is all-pervasive and not personal. And a devotee is interested in serving Krishna and to have a relationship with Krishna, and that is not possible with universal form. So a devotee is not really interested in seeing a universal form. He might have this desire to see the wonder. Oh, let me see, how it is, but that's all. They don't want to really have a relationship with that form. 4.
मन्यसे यत्
मन्यसे 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 यदि तत् शन्यं माया दृष्टुम् इति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शात्मनम् अव्ययम् If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self.
So Arjun is such an evolved personality. You can see he's so cultured and so evolved. He is not demanding that Krishna, you show me your form. I want to see it. He's saying, if you think I'm able to behold your cosmic form, if you think, that I should be seeing it, then please kindly show it to me. So he's not ordering Krishna. And there's so much to learn from this. Sometimes when we want to see something, we don't really have this mood. We want something, then we want it, as simple as that. So, but Arjun is ready for both the eventualities. Krishna may, if you think, I can behold it, you show it to me by your kindness. And if you think I can't behold it, it's okay. Whatever you decide, I'm okay with it. So, such an amazing culture. And then Prabhupada says, it is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Arjuna as a devotee does not depend on his speculative strength, rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjun could understand that for a living entity it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. How is it possible to understand the nature of the infinite? By the grace of the infinite. There is no other way. The word Yogeshwar is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace. Although he is unlimited, therefore Arjun pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculation to see Krishna. So, Prabhupada is again making it clear that Krishna is not obliged, he is not our order carrier. And Prabhupada uses this word, order carrier. Krishna is not obliged to show himself to anybody. He does it out of his compassion, out of his grace, out of his mercy. And when does he decide to show mercy? When he sees the surrender of a devotee. Then he becomes inclined to give his mercy. Okay? Now Krishna will start speaking.
Hare Krishna Mataji Maharaj.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Pashya me partha rupani shatasho ata sahasrasha nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjun, O son of Pratha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms."
Yeah, read the purport also.
Purport: Arjun wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary times of this material nature, as the material nature is manifested and not manifested. Similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non-manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as the devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjun wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Prabhupada gives a very nice summary about the universal form. So, what is the difference between the universal form and the transcendental form of the Lord? What is the difference? Karunamai?
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare
please
Krishna.
accept my
Please accept my.
Mataji, the transcendental form of Krishna is permanent, but this Vishwarupa form is actually temporary. It is depends upon the manifestation and unmanifestation of the material world.
How does it depend on the manifestation and unmanifestation of the material world?
because because it is uh, because it is
So,
Vishwaroop.
so when the material world is manifested, that's when it comes into being, the universal form, because it is a form for the material manifestation. So when material manifestation is there, the form exists. When there's no material manifestation, that the form doesn't exist. What is a universal form? It is actually a sum total of everything existing in the material manifestation. So it only exists when there is material manifestation. Okay, and yes, Prabhu,
Please accept humble obeisances, Hare
please
Krishna.
accept me.
Mataji, just wanted to check, is the universal form also Satchidanand?
No, no.
Hmm.
Actually, Satchidanand is a funny kind of a question because it is considered transcendental. So in that sense, it can be seen as Satchidanand, but it is not. It is not permanent. It's temporary. But it is a
Because the previous question
proper.
that you have asked, I was just contemplating if the transcendental form is Satchidanand, so probably the universal form is not
I
Satchidanand.
don't know. I mean,
But
I can't answer that for sure. I mean, Prabhupada does refer it to as Satchidanand, as transcendental, but temporary. So not sure. Not sure. I have not like really read it like that anywhere, whether it is Satchidanand or not. I'm not sure. I can check. I can check because Jiva Goswami does give commentary on the universal form. I can check from there. Okay. All right. Text 6.
पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहूनि दृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्चाश्चर्याणि भारत. Translation: O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini, Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before.
Read the purport also.
Even though Arjun was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So very interesting that Krishna is saying that no, this form has not been seen by human. This is unknown to human vision. But we know that Krishna had shown universal form to Yashoda twice. Twice. Who remembers?
Once in his mouth and
Both in the mouth.
mouth. Okay.
Both in the mouth. One was when when he had eaten dirt, and then he claims that I have not done it, and then Yashoda says, "Open your mouth and show me." So this was the pastime which happened at Brahman Ghat. And once when he was very small and he was like lying down on our lap, and he just opened his mouth, and Yashoda could see everything, the whole Brahmand, many Brahmands in his mouth. Twice to Yashoda, once to Duryodhan, right? And but he's saying here that this form has not been seen by any human before. So what it really means is that the universal form that Krishna showed in other instances was a partial form. It was not a full universal form. But to Arjun, he's going to show not only universal form, but also universal form in action, which has never been seen. And also here, Prabhupada says, now Krishna reveals these beautiful forms. So it implies that there was not just one form, there were many forms, form within a form, like that. There were many forms. And different things were happening with different forms. So this was like the uniqueness of this form. And he's showing it to Arjun for the first time. Okay, 7th.
इहैकस्तं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्चाद्य सचराचरं मम देहे गुणाकेश यच्चान्यद् द्रष्टुम् इच्छसि. Translation: O Arjun, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place.
Yeah. So the Acharyas comment that in the next 3 verses, in every verse, Krishna is going to use a word pashya, means see, see. So that he's actually trying to emphasize to Arjun that, see, this form has never been seen before. It is such a unusual form that it has never been seen before. So please see, like that. And he's now tempting Arjun that if you want to see the outcome of the battle, so whatever is in the future, that also you can see here. So not only just it contains the past or present, it also contains the future, what will happen in the future. And Arjun in this form will see many universes in one form. It's not just one universe, he'll see many universes in one form. Yeah. So, and Prabhupada says that by the mercy of Krishna, Arjun is able to see everything. And we'll see this as in some more verses, we'll see that not everybody was able to see this form. Only to those to whom Krishna gave divine vision, only those could see this form. Not everybody was able to see. Okay, text 8. Yes, Mataji.
Dandar Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dhanwad.
So, what about Sanjay? Was he able to see this?
Sanjay was able to see because of the mercy of his guru, Vyasadeva. He got the divine vision from Vyasadeva. That's why he's able to see.
Okay.
But there's so many soldiers, so many even other Pandavas also, they could not see
We could not
on
see.
the battlefield.
One question is coming in my mind again and again. What about Hanumanji? He was also there.
The Acharyas don't
Sad.
mention anything about Hanumanji, whether he saw or not, didn't see. So I can't really comment because the Acharyas don't talk about him. But maybe he was able to see because of the mercy of the Lord, but it's not mentioned anywhere. At least I haven't come across. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, my question is related to Sanjay's vision only. So, does that mean that Vyasadeva is equally potent as that of Krishna? Because Krishna gave the divine vision to Arjuna to see the Virat Roop. So, is Vyasadeva equally potent?
Yeah, equally potent in the sense that he is a Shaktavesh avatar of Krishna. And because Sanjay was given this divine vision so that he can explain what was happening, and because Dhritarashtra wanted to see, he wanted to know, so he requested Vyasadeva that I really want to see. I'm blind, I can't go there, I'm not part of the battle, but I really want to see what's happening. So Vyasadeva, out of his mercy, empowered his own disciple, Sanjay, to be able to see that. So, and since Sanjay is telling, and we'll see that Sanjay will tell everything to Dhritarashtra, so he's able to see by the mercy of Guru. If Guru is Sadguru, by his mercy, anything is possible. Right? Okay. 8.
न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षु पश्य मे योगम् ऐश्वरम्.
So you see again Pashya. So in every 3-4 verses, in every verse he'll say Pashya, and in this one he says Pashya me yogam aishwaram. So my inconceivable mystic power, see. Yeah, go ahead.
Translation: But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
Go ahead.
Purport: A pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with the mind but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind but his vision. the universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjun wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in a transcendental relation with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by a godless display of opulences. The playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They are so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord.
Thank you. So then Prabhupada quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, so in which there's this mention that all these gopas and sakhas who are playing with Krishna, they must be like such pious souls that, they're able to play with Krishna. What they must have done to be able to reach that position. And, they don't take Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They just treat him like their personal friend. And then Prabhupada quotes from this particular 10, 12, 11. And it's a very, very famous shloka. Itam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena. Maya shitanam naradarakena sakama vijrahu krita punya punjaha. That here is the Supreme Person who's considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now, these boys who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, why Prabhupada is quoting this? Because he's saying that devotees are not really interested in seeing the opulences of Krishna. They're interested in having a heart relationship, a heart connection. So Prabhupada says the fact that a devotee is not concerned with seeing the Vishwarup, the universal form, but Arjun wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement that so that in the future people could understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjun. Arjun must confirm this because Arjun is the beginning of the parampara system. Arjun knows that from me a parampara is starting. So he wants to just make sure that he gets everything. Everybody who's going to follow him later, they get the right picture, they get the right knowledge. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and who follow in the footsteps of Arjun should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjun the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjun did not particularly want to see it. Okay, I have a question. We read everywhere that Krishna's personal form, the transcendental form, is highest. It's higher than the universal form. Arjun is able to see that form, which is the highest. Why does he need special vision to see the universal form, which is lower? Do you get my question? Is it clear or should I repeat that? Clear. Okay. Why do you think? Why does he say, therefore I give you divine eyes? Yes, Vaibhavi.
I think Mataji, because that is not permanent form. It's partial. And
Partial.
it exists for minutes only. And it's not.
No, it exists for the time the material manifestation is there.
But the devotees don't want to see that, no, because we don't. Because he's telling Krishna, Arjun, that you don't have to pray that form. You can directly approach me. If that's perhaps.
But if he's able to see the higher form, how is he not able to see the lower form? Why does he need divine vision to see the lower form? Okay, Daya?
Hare Krishna Mataji. As per my understanding, I think Arjuna is not not contaminated soul. He is being deluded due to Krishna has in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, we have seen that Arjuna is a pure devotee, but Krishna has created the situation to be like to Arjuna to be bewildered. Otherwise, he is a pure devotee. So maybe he is a transcendental located person, not soul. That's why.
Okay, yes, Krishna did bewilder him. We saw that in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. My question is that why, if he can see the transcendental form of Krishna, why does he need special vision to see the universal form?
Hare
Okay,
Krishna Mataji.
one
I
second. Daya? No?
Mhm. Yes, got it. But I
Got
don't
the
know.
question now, huh?
I got question, but the thing is, I feel like Arjuna is a pure devotee, and he's not materially like there are stages of bhakti, so that must be there. I have not a clear understanding of that.
Okay, okay. Yes, Mataji, what were you saying, Krishna Priya Mataji? You are on mute.
Hare Krishna Mataji. As per my understanding, that form is very intense form and very devastating. Like so, that could not be seen with the normal eyes.
So Arjun doesn't have normal eyes, no? He has Premanjana Charita Bhakti
But
Vilochanena.
that form can't be seen with Premanjana. That has people are going inside mouth of Krishna, and he's showing his Virat Kal Roop. So the loving eyes can't see. There has to be some different eyes.
Okay, you're almost there. Almost. Okay. Keshavi Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept mine.
Mataji, as per my understanding, as we see in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Vyas Dev has given Divya Drishti, spiritual eyes to Sanjay. And that may be the reason that why Sanjay was able to see the universal form, and that's because Krishna's universal form is including so many universes in it. So it is not possible to see it with material eyes. That's why Krishna gave him spiritual eyes.
So are we saying that Arjun is seeing Krishna's transcendental form with his material eyes? Is that what we are saying?
But Mataji, there's a difference between both the forms.
What is the difference?
Because Krishna's two-handed form was even visible to the demons, but they
So,
are seeing as per the perspective of a pure devotee. But this form was shown to Krishna by his grace, his mercy.
he showed
So
it to Duryodhan also, no? Part of it?
yes, yes, Madhuri.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you. That's not the intention. Tulsi?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
According to me, I think it is impossible to see Krishna with naked eyes. Okay, like with materialistic eyes. But Arjuna was no doubt he was a friend. He was dedicated to Krishna. He was a devotee. But for seeing Krishna, it is not possible that Arjuna can see him with material eyes. So
Yeah,
that's
so
why
he's seeing Krishna, no? Krishna is sitting on his chariot, he's seeing Krishna. How do we understand that?
But he is sitting for all like Pandavas, all other Pandavas or demons can also see this.
Yeah, so
So I just thought that it is difficult.
are you trying to say that universal form is more difficult to see than Krishna's transcendental form?
Mm, Can be.
Okay. Why, Bhavi? Second try?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Manaji, for Krishna's universal form, one has to do several kind of penance and different activities and something. They can see that form, or they can approach that form. But
Where
for
does it say
Krishna,
that?
perhaps I read somewhere that if you want to praise Krishna, praise Vishnu, you have to do penance and all. The other way around, that universal form is quite scary. Everybody cannot
Universal
take that
form is
form.
not scary. It is the Kal Roop which is scary. Universal form is not scary. You know, he
But
will.
he shows
He shows
everything, no?
earlier. He shows before. He hasn't started showing him the Kal Roop yet. He's showing him his universal form, and then he will show his universal form in action, which is the Kal Roop. It will happen after he gets the divine vision, not before. Yeah,
Please help us with the answer, Mataji.
Jyoti, you wanted to say something?
Krishna Mataji, please accept
Hare
my
Krishna.
humble obeisances.
Please accept mine.
What I understood is like the universal form is more complicated. It's difficult to comprehend, and transcendental form is very simple. And as you told, like his friends, they are they have more interest in having the relation with Krishna rather than having all those logics. So the universal form is more of logical, is what I understood. So yeah.
Thank you. Nice, nice. You people came up with nice arguments. Like I said, I mean, I gave a hint that Krishna Priya Mataji was the closest, so you should have just built on that. You know, that she was almost there. So, okay, Karunama, you also take a try.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Mataji,
Yeah.
as a pure devotee cannot see Krishna in impersonal form or a form in supreme personality of Godhead. As you see that in Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna was showing so many leelas, but the Vrindavan Vasis, they were like, no, he is not God, he is our son. So
Yeah.
for this, to see lower form, Krishna has to give a lower vision.
Thank you. So, it is explained in Bhagavatam second canto that a pure devotee of the Lord, he is unaccustomed to seeing Krishna's opulence, doesn't like to see Krishna in his opulent feature. And especially a mundane form, a gigantic mundane form, a pure devotee is not interested at all in seeing. It's not that they cannot see, they can, but they are not interested in seeing. You know, they don't have that kind of vision. Like Krishna Priya Mataji was also saying, and Karunamai also said that the devotees in Vrindavan, they cannot see his opulence. Even when he shows his opulence, they think maybe I am seeing something else. Yashoda Mai always thinks that maybe something's wrong with me. You know, what am I seeing? So, or maybe something's wrong with my child. Maybe he's not well. So, you know, they don't want to see that. So that is the reason he was given special vision, because he cannot be, this universal form cannot be seen from the materialized, and it cannot be seen from Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. It has to be a special kind of a vision. And a pure devotee doesn't have that vision because he doesn't like to see Krishna like that. So that is why a special vision had to be given to him. Yeah, Keshvi had also said something like that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so we see that now Arjuna is going to get a special vision, and now Krishna will start showing him universal form in action, which is going to be pretty scary. Okay, go ahead. Somebody read. Yes, Prabhu. You have a question, Prabhu? You want to read?
Yes, Mataji, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, Mataji, in chapter 9, we read about three types of worshippers. The last one was the Vishwaroop worshippers. So, are those Vishwaroop worshippers worshipping the same Virat form of Krishna?
Yeah, they do. Like, but they don't see this form, because that's why, you know, Krishna makes it clear that this form is unknown to humans. They don't really see this form. This is the full universal form with, like, you know, in action. It will show past, present, and future. Normally, the Virat Roop worshippers see that still form, where they see that everything is encompassed in this form, and they worship that. Okay? Yeah. 9.
Sanjay Uvacha Evamuktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeswaro Harihi Darshayamasa Parthaya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Sanjay said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
So we can see that Sanjay is able to see the universal form. For others, when they saw Krishna and Arjun, they just saw that they were sitting on a chariot. They could not see this form. They just saw that these two people were sitting on the chariot. But Sanjay is able to see that now Krishna is showing his universal form. And he uses this word Maha Yogeshwaro Harihi, right? In the shloka, second line. So in a way, the Acharyas comment that by using this word, he's indicating to Dhritarashtra that Krishna is going to take everything away. He's Hari. He takes everything away. He will take away and destroy everything, and he'll take away everything. So in a way, he was trying to hint. Okay. Now text 10:11.
अनेकवक्त्रनयनम् अनेकाद्भुतदर्शनम् अनेकदिव्याभरणम् दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधम् माल्यं वरधरं दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनं सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवम् अनन्तं विश्वतोमुखम्. Translation: Arjun saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
So we see that Divya word has been used 4 times. Sanjay says 4 times Divya. What it means is that everything that he could see was extraordinary. The ornaments were extraordinary, the weapons were extraordinary, the garlands were extraordinary, and the fragrance was also extraordinary. And here we see that he's saying that the form was decorated with many celestial ornaments. There were multiple unlimited manifestations distributed throughout the universe. So he was seeing many forms, many. So Prabhupada says, in these 2 verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjuna was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe, but by the grace of the Lord, Arjun could see them while sitting in one place. This was due to the inconceivable potency of Krishna. 12. Read, please.
दिवि सूर्यसहस्रस्य भावे युगपद उत्थिता यदि बाह सदृशी सा स्यात् भाषा तस्य महात्मना. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
Yeah, so now Sanjay is giving an analogy to explain to Dhritarashtra how effulgent form was. There was so much effulgence and it was so brilliant. So he's giving an analogy that if hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once, that's how brilliant this form is. Okay, so Prabhupada is explaining that what Arjun saw was indescribable, yet Sanjay was trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjay nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjay, by the grace of Vyasa, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation, as far as it can be understood, to an imaginable phenomena, that is, thousands of suns. 13.
सश्रेष्ठस्तं जगत्कृत्स्रं प्रविभक्तं नेकधा अपश्य देवदेवस्य शरीरे पाण्डव सदा. Translation: At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
Please see the
Purport.
purport.
The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjuna and Krishna.
So Prabhupada explains that no, others could not see because they were not given that divine vision by Krishna. Okay, 14.
ततः सा विस्मयाविष्टो हृष्टरोमा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं कृताञ्जलिर्भाषत. Translation. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands he is praying to Krishna. He is praying the universal form. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of the wonders rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as the reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder, and in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up, and he began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus we reach in this way. He reacted in this way.
So the devotees share, transcendental relationship with Krishna and one of the 5 primary rasas. There are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. Right? Everyone is aware of what the 5 primary rasas are? If not, I can tell. Everybody knows what are the 5 primary rasas, Daya?
I know 5, but not other 7.
Don't worry, you'll come to know in NOD. But you know the 5 primary rasas, right? So wonder is a secondary rasa, it's not a primary rasa. The 5 primary rasas are Shant, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. These are the 5 primary rasas. So Arjun had a relationship of Sakhya, of friendship. But here we see that his primary rasa has been overshadowed by a secondary rasa, wonder. So that is why he's experiencing these ecstatic emotions. He's bewildered. So, but a devotee is always established, a proper devotee of the Lord is always established in one of the 5 primary rasas. The secondary rasas nourish the relationship, but they are not the primary rasa. They are not our actual relationship. They just are there, they sometimes come and go to nourish the relationship. Okay, now Arjun will start speaking. Now he will say what is he seeing. 15.
Arjun Uvacha पश्यामि देवांस्तव देवदेहे सर्वांस्तथा भूतविशेषसङ्घान् ब्रह्माणम् ईशं कमल आसनं स्थं श्रीश्मश्च सर्वान् Uragamscha Divyan. Translation. Arjun said, My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents.
So now Arjun is beginning to explain what all is he seeing. So let's read the purport.
Arjun sees everything in the universe, therefore, he sees Brahma, who is the first creature in the universe, and the celestial serpent upon which the Garbhodakshay Vishnu lies in the lower region of the universe. This snake bed is called Vasuki. There are also other snakes known as Vasuki. Arjun can see from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu up to the topmost part of the universe on the lotus flower planet where Brahma, the first creature of universe, resides. That means that from the beginning to the end, everything could be seen by Arjuna, who was sitting in one place on his chariot. This was possible by the grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
Okay. 16.
बाहूदरवक्त्रनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वं सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपं नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप.
Thank
Translation.
you.
O Lord of the
One
universe.
second. So Arjun is using this word pashyami, pashyami. We had seen Krishna was saying earlier, pashya, pashya, see. So now Arjun is confirming, yes, I'm seeing this, pashyami, I'm seeing this. So now he's confirming. Okay, go ahead.
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
Yeah. So we saw that Sanjay said a similar thing earlier. Now Arjun is also saying a similar thing, that many arms, many legs, many bellies, everywhere. So now he's saying, and Prabhupada in his very short purport, he says, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is unlimited. Thus, through him, everything could be seen. Text 17.
Vivitinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo sarvato diptimantam pashyami tvam niriksham samanta deepan deeptanalar deeptanalar kadyutam apriyameyam. I'm so sorry. Translation. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence spreading on all sides.
Glaring effulgence.
Glaring effulgence spreading on all sides, like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
So we saw that Sanjay explained this form to Dhritarashtra by saying that hundreds of thousands of suns at one time. And now Arjuna is saying something similar, that it is so effulgent that, it's very difficult to keep your eyes open to see it. If there's something really effulgent in front of you, very glaring, it becomes difficult for us to open our eyes and see. So with Arjun, he's saying that your form is very difficult to see, and like blazing fire and immeasurable radiance of the sun. It's so brilliant. It is so amazing. Yet, and then he says, yet I see this form glowing from everywhere and adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. And it is not just, it's not only brilliant, but it is also a decorated form. There are many crowns, many clubs, it's fully decorated. Now, text 18.
Tamaksharam param veditavyam tamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tamavyaya shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. Translation. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the unlimited resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion.
So now Arjuna is giving his opinion and confirming that this is how you are. You are the oldest person, and everything rests upon you. And you are also the primal objective. You are the personality of Godhead. So he's giving his conclusion after seeing this form. He's given this conclusion, and we'll see that after hearing Chatushloki, he gives a similar conclusion. Then in the beginning of 11th canto, he gives a similar conclusion. And now, 11th chapter, he gives a similar conclusion. And now again, he's giving this conclusion. Let's read text 19. And this is the beginning of Kal Roop. Now it's going to get interesting. Okay, read.
अनादिमध्यान्तमनन्तवीर्य मनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रं पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तिहुताशवक्त्रं सतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम्. Translation: You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance.
Yeah, so we saw that earlier, Arjun was feeling awe and reverence. He was feeling wonder. And now we'll see how that rasa is going to change to bhayanak, how fear is going to come in. So read the purport.
There is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places there is repetition, but according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw.
Yeah, so earlier also he said you have numberless arms, many legs. So Prabhupada is saying that when one is feeling ecstasy, then one can say these kind of things again and again, and it's not a literary flaw. So here now, what is he beginning to see? He's seeing that fire is coming from his mouth and burning the entire universe. Now he's seeing it in action. How that fire is coming and burning the entire universe. Okay, text 20.
पृथ्वीयोरिदम् अन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशा च सर्व दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपम् उग्रतवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महातम्. Translation: Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed.
Read the purport.
Dyav Prithviyo, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, the three words, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjun see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw the universal form on the battlefield.
So the Acharyas comment that the demigods and the great sages were also able to see. They were also given this divine vision. They were also able to see this form. And Arjun is able to see that, okay, now the sages and demigods are able to see this form and they are reacting. Okay, 21.
अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्गा विशन्ति केचिद्भिदा प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षिसिद्धसङ्गा स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः. All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Host of great sages and perfected beings, crying, "All peace," are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
Yeah, so we see here that what is happening? That demigods are, all the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. They are entering into the mouth of this universal form. And some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. They are offering prayers. And the great sages, they are actually what they are chanting Swasti Vachan, Shanti, Shanti, those kind of Swasti Vachan. because they can see that this is a very ugra form. This is a very, very terrible form. So they are chanting ugra, the swasti vachan, all peace, shanti, shanti, and are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. So Prabhupada says the demigods in all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection. Yeah. Why are they so scared? Because they can see themselves entering into the mouth of that universal form. And then they could see that so much fire is coming from there, and one by one we are entering into that form. So they are very scared and they are offering prayers. 22.
रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या विश्वे अश्विनो मरुतश्चोष्मपाश गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्गा वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Yeah. So now he's explaining that what do I see? I'm seeing that all these people are able to see you and they are looking at you with wonder that what is this form? They have not seen anything like this before. So they are all very, very astonished and bewildered as well. Text 23.
रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्रनेत्रं महाबाहो बहुबाहुरूपादं बहुधरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालं दृष्ट्वा लोकाः प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम्. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
So now we can see that Arjun's friendship, then wonder, and then what happened? Bewilderment and then fear. He's now fearful. He's saying that, and also disturbed that, I am seeing all this and there's such terrible teeth, and he'll explain how those teeth are crushing everyone. And he's saying, I'm so disturbed. And they are also, everyone who's seeing is also very disturbed to see this form of yours. 24.
नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णं व्यात्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouth, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
So yeah, he's explaining that he is very fearful and he's not able to keep his balance. Yeah, Devika?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
I'm confused that why the demigods are fearful at this stage. Like if they
Yeah,
are entering
because
into the mouth,
mouth.
they
Yeah.
don't trust Krishna.
It's not about trusting Krishna. It is just seeing that terrible form and then just seeing that the fire is coming from that mouth and everyone is entering into that mouth and they are being crushed by his teeth. So they can see that. So it's very terrifying that, okay, so we are all going to enter into this place and he's going to crush us with his teeth.
Okay.
And it will be explained that they are all rushing into his mouth. They can't like stop. It's like a rush. It's not in their control. So obviously, like if you are being rushed to some place and then you can see that everybody before me has been crushed to death, it is going to be fearful. So that's why they're experiencing that.
Thank you, Mataji.
Text 25.
दृष्टकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्टैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभ्ये च शर्मा रसेव देवेश जगन्निवास. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth, In all directions, I'm bewildered.
Yeah. So what is he saying? You're blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. That means, so acharyas explain that death-like faces means that they're emanating fire, which comes at the time of universal destruction. So he's seeing that kind of fire. So it seems like, okay, everything is going to be finished. This is death. And Arjun is explaining that I'm really bewildered by this form. 26, 27.
अमी च त्वां दृष्टास्य पुत्रः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्गैः भीष्मो द्रोणः सूतपुत्रस्तासो सहसा स्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्त्राणि ते त्वार्माणा विशन्ति दंष्टा करालानि भयानकानि केचिद्विलिङ्गान् दशान्तरेषु सन्दृष्ट्यन्ते चूर्णितेरुतमाङ्गैः. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their elite kings and Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
So can you imagine how terrible this form must be? So, and Krishna is showing him this form. Why? Because Arjun's reason for not fighting was why? He said, I don't want to kill Bhishma and Drona. I don't want to kill my family members. I don't want them to die. So now Krishna is showing in this form that they are going to die, whether you kill them or not. Your killing them is only on the physical platform, but the actual killer is the time. And their time has come. So they are going to die. So he's actually making Arjun quite detached, that don't worry, it's not you who's killing. They are being killed by time itself. So Prabhupada in the purport says that in a previous verse, the Lord promised to see Arjun things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjun sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra, and their soldiers and Arjun's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjun will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjun's side also. 28.
नदीनां बहवो भुवेगा समुद्रमेवाभिमुखा द्रवन्ति तथा तवामि नरलोकवीरा वसन्ति वक्त्राण्य विज्वलन्ति. Translation: As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
Yeah, so he will now give two analogies to explain how this whole thing is happening. So he's saying first analogy is that like the rivers flow into the ocean, so all these warriors are blazing into your mouth and they're entering into your blazing mouth. So this rivers flow to the ocean naturally. They flow to the without any intentional effort. They naturally flow there. So now he's saying that. So similarly, all these warriors, because of their demoniac behavior, the way they behaved, it was demoniac. So they are actually destroying themselves. There's no external action required to destroy them. They have destroyed themselves by their own actions. So just like rivers naturally go, so they are also naturally flowing into the mouth of the universal form. And now he'll give the second analogy. So somebody please read this one.
यथा प्रदीप्तिं ज्वलनं पतङ्गा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगा तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकाः तवापि वक्त्राणि समृद्धवेगा. Translation: I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
So some people entered the battle as a matter of duty. They're not really take sides. They just entered that, okay, it's my duty to fight from this side. It's not that they were demoniac in nature. So these two analogies actually explain the two kind of people who will enter the mouth of the universal form, as in the two kind of people who will be destroyed. Though all those soldiers who unintentionally, who just took sides out of duty, not intentionally, because they thought that, okay, I belong to this kingdom, so I should fight from this kingdom, not really thinking whether it was dharmic or adharmic. So those are of the kind of people, and then there are others who, because of their demoniac actions, are going to get destroyed. So they are both kind of people are rushing into the mouth of the universal form because of the time factor. The time has come, so they are both rushing into it. Yeah. 30. This is the, yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, then why Barbaric was killed? Because he didn't choose any side, although, but why he was killed by Arjuna, Krishna?
Thank you for asking this question. I don't know who Barbaric is. Really, I have no idea about this Barbaric story, because I have not read it in Mahabharata. I have not read it in Bhagavatam. So I've heard it from many people about Barbaric, but somehow I never felt a desire to get into this story. I don't know anything about Barbaric. All I know is that he was probably the son of he was Bhima's grandson, right? That's all I know. Beyond that, I don't know anything. I'm sorry. Yeah, 30.
ललीह्यसेग्र समान समन्ता लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर्ज्वलब्धि तेजोभिरास्फुर्य जगत् समग्रं भासस्तवेग्रो Vigra Pratapanti Vishnu. Translation: O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouth, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays.
Yeah, so Arjuna is saying is such a ferocious form, and everything is coming into his mouth, and without any choice. It's not that they can choose to stop. They are being rushed into the mouth of this universal form, and nobody can escape. Nobody can escape. So he's saying that it's really such a terrible form. And now, Arjun, this is the end of Kal Roop. Now Arjun will start offering his prayers. Text 31. We are going to stop, I think, at text after this text and cover the rest tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next Monday. Okay? Yeah.
Sri Bhagwanuvacha Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit.
No. Hold on. 31. Read 31, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. आख्याहि को भवान् नुग्ररूपो नमो अस्तु ते देव वरप्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं न हि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्. Translation: O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is.
So he's asking two questions. One is, I want to know about you, and I want to know your mission. These are the two questions that Arjun is asking. And we see that slowly his mood is going to move from fear to reverence. Now when he'll start offering his prayers, we'll see that Arjun becomes completely reverential and he'll offer beautiful prayers. Okay? So we'll stop here. If anyone has any question besides Barbaric from this section, I will try to answer that. Yes, Prabhu.
Madhuri, I have a question with regard to divine vision of the demigods. So how they have those divine visions? Because if you'll see, there are some stories in the past tense of Krishna where Lord Brahma and Lord Indra are not able to understand the transcendental form of Krishna. And on the contrary, they are also fearful of the Vishwarup form, the demigods. So how we can understand this? Mataji.
See, Krishna's transcendental form is the highest. We have to understand that. And only a pure devotee really understands it. And we see both in case of Indra and Brahma. Brahma is more like a pastime to teach us certain lessons. And Brahma, when he sees Krishna eating with his left hand and eating, somebody else ate it and then put it in Krishna's mouth, and Krishna took it. So he got bewildered that how can this be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? This can't be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can he be eating, whatever has been eaten before by somebody else? So that's why he decides to test him, right? That's the reason. So the many lessons that we learn from that pastime, one of the lessons is that Krishna can bewilder anyone. Nobody can say that I know Krishna and, I really know who he is. He can bewilder anyone. And also he teaches a lesson that don't try to understand me with your intellect and with your logic. I am only understood by love and devotion. And also many, many lessons in each of these pastimes. When you read this in 10th canto or even in Krishna book, you'll see that Prabhupada gives many lessons. And similarly, in case of Indra, the lesson is that he's proud. He's very proud, right? That's the primary lesson. And also, he's so proud that Krishna decides to hold Govardhan here on the small left hand, the smallest finger in the left hand, and the nail of that finger, not even the whole hand. That's how he kind of shows him that you are so proud, just say, I'm able to do this with the nail of my smallest finger of my left hand. So, and Acharyas give many lessons. So this is like the primary lessons from these two pastimes. Now this particular universal form, Prabhupada mentions that it is by the grace of Krishna that they are able to see. So universal form is not really the supreme form of the Lord. They don't really need Premanjana Churita. They can be given that vision just to show them. So for the other kind of vision, for the vision to see Krishna in his primary form, in his supreme form, there has to be love and devotion. But for universal form, love and devotion is not necessary. That's why Duryodhana could also see. Although he could not understand anything, he still thought that, he's some kind of Maya is there, but this is not Krishna, is not the Supreme Personality. Right? Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji. And Mataji, I have another question. Did Pandavas ever see the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna with the flute and the peacock feather, or they always see the Krishna on the battlefield with wearing a crown, jewels, and Dwarka pastime and all?
See, Kunti was also never present in Vrindavan. Kunti was also never present, but when you read the Stutis of Kunti, the 8th chapter, the first canto, you see that she describes that, I'm so bewildered by your activities that you are the fear personified and you run out of fear in front of Mother Yashoda. So we can see that they do have that knowledge. They do know that, about his Vrindavan pastimes. But also at the same time, we have to understand that every devotee is established in a certain rasa. Every devotee has a certain rasa. Like for Bhishma, he wants to see Krishna on the battlefield because that's his primary rasa. And the rasa a devotee has with Krishna, for that devotee, that is the topmost. We can keep saying this, that, oh, Sakya is better than Shant, and Dasya is better than Shant, and Sakya is better than Dasya, and Vatsalya is better than Sakya, and Madhurya is the topmost. But a devotee who is in Sakya thinks that's the topmost. He has no aspiration to go to Madhurya. He doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to. He is fully satisfied in that particular rasa. So even if the Pandavas know, but Pandavas like to see Krishna in a certain form, and that's the form he exhibits in front of them. So this is Krishna's mercy that a devotee, whichever form a devotee is attracted to, that's the form he manifests in front of that devotee. If you're attracted to Dwarka, Dwarka form of Krishna, he will manifest that in front of you, because he that's how he reciprocates with his devotees. So that's why Pandavas, they're aware of his Vrindavan pastimes, but their attraction is towards this particular form. So that's why they see it. Okay, all right. Thank you everyone for being very patient, and I'm sure you're glad we're ending, early today. And Krishna willing, we'll meet on Monday. And because in this chapter they're not very big purports, Prabhupada has not given much of purport, so I'm hoping that we can finish 11th chapter on Monday. All right, and then we'll start the 12th chapter, Krishna willing. Thank you so much for listening patiently. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare
Correct.
Krishna,
And
Mataji.
thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Pranam. Pranam to all.